Well, in my life, I guess I've wrestled with just the whole idea of forgiveness, feeling forgiven. Suffered a lot of feelings of that after a divorce, that there's no way you could ever reclaim your life and be complete again, be whole again, be healthy again. And one of the strongest feelings is that why not just give up? You know, when you feel like you've been hurt or hurt others and your whole life collapses, there's a huge tendency just to try to say, well, I guess I'll go find something else to do. But anger and bitterness is some of the things that seem to hide under the surface, and they don't really come out. I mean, some of the anger will come out initially at first, but it's interesting to see how that 15 years later I was still working on some of those emotions that I should have dealt with when they occurred, and I didn't have anybody, I guess, or didn't feel like I could share those feelings with anybody. So you just kind of stuff them and live with them, and you tell yourself you're okay, and you're not.
Well, I'm Pam Perry, and I have been attending the divorce care class. I got divorced after about 36 years in marriage, a little over a year ago, and didn't realize when I started going through it how horrible it was going to be. I never realized that people that got divorced, just the pain that they go through, it really is like a death, because I've lost my son, so I know what that feels like. And anyhow, it's very painful, and a friend of mine told me about the divorce care, and I started coming, and it has just been a miracle for me. The Lord's really helped me through a lot of things. When I was married about 25 years, my husband told me on our 25th wedding anniversary that he had cheated on me. And it was real early in our marriage when I was pregnant with my second child, and that just destroyed me. But I made it through that, and then my youngest daughter got pregnant at 16. My youngest son went into Iraq. And while he was in Iraq, my oldest son passed away in an automobile accident. My younger daughter she went through a couple of marriages, abusive marriages, and she got into meth. So I went through that. And my oldest daughter, who had a good marriage and had graduated with honors from the University of Las Vegas, she moved back here for an old boyfriend, left her husband, and she has a child, and she got involved with drugs and burglaries, so now she's in prison. So needless to say, for the last 12 years, my life has been horrible, and during that time, especially after I lost my son, I got mad at God.
I know for me personally, just being out on the road, you drive for 600-700 miles in a day, 10, 11, 12 hours, whatever it takes to get your 700 miles. And it's a lot of time to think and see things. There's also the personal things you can get. I mean, there's the nice term is lot lizards for you're basically your truck driver hookers, I guess. I don't know how you would put that in a good term, but you have those. You have there's just all kinds of things. You have the pornography stuff that's just rampant out there. You go by a million of those stores all throughout the country, and it's a lot of them are convenient for going into and visiting, and I can't say I miss those traps. I went right to a few of those. I went to a lot of those, and those are hard to break away from because, again, you're by yourself. What do you do?
We already had some major problems in our marriage. And then when you go and there's a job where there's a major separation, it just compounds everything. And on top of that, I was alone with 3 kids, and he would come home and he had his needs, and I was just ready to go anywhere but be there. We had a marriage where he had a lot of issues, and I took those issues and I didn't respect him back because I was hurting over issues of sexual addiction. It runs rampant throughout everything in your life, and it takes control of everything. I didn't respond well to, I didn't respond right, and he couldn't get out of it.
In January of 2010, I had a major back surgery, and I wasn't dreading it. I was looking forward and counting the days till I could have the surgery. And then January of 2011, my right femur snapped, and I had a long rod put in my leg, but it did not heal. And so August of 2012, I had that surgery again. They took out that rod, reamed out the opening hole, and put in a longer, bigger rod. I guess the largest challenge that I've had to face was when Ivan had his surgeries. He had 4 surgeries in 10 days a couple of years ago, and which left him with no speech. And I would like to have had the gift of interpretation at that time, because it was really difficult trying to figure out what he was wanting to say.
3 weeks, I didn't know what was going on. When I get home, I go into a couple of words: squirrel and dressing.
That was Thanksgiving time.
I know what I want to say, but I can't what I want to say, because I know in my mind the words, but I can't verbalize things. So it's a little frustrating, but I cope.